Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tea with TPS, informal conversations with achievers and thought leaders in India and abroad. Today, our distinguished guest is Sindhu Nandakumar. She is a creative writer, a psychotherapist, and a business consultant rolled into one. These are professions which require full-time attention, but here it's a person who is doing all the three and more at one time. So it's a true multitasker. She characterizes herself as a dreamer, always in a journey of understanding people, and in-depth studies into the world of psychology, and has become a psychotherapist too. And from psychotherapy, she moved on to a natural area, which is fiction writing. There's no better way of learning the minds of people except by creating them. You create human beings, make them do things the way you want, and then you see the consequences. So in addition to that, she's into publishing. She has a desk publishing company, and she has published more than 42 books, according to what I read on the internet. And the whole idea in his career seems to be, as I call this topic of today, exploring the human mind. So she has several windows to the human mind, which you explore, and then they interact together, and she creates this world of human emotions, human creativity, and everything. So she has much more to contribute. She's really very young. She's an author in English and Malayalam, and 42 publications, as I said, and anything and everything is within her grasp. So let us talk to you, Ms. Sindhu, about the various aspects of your work, and then we'll try to put it all together to see what a personality you are. So first, you are a psychotherapist by profession. Was it that you were trained for when you were a student?
Good evening, sir. And first of all, let me thank you for the invite. It is my pleasure to be in a show with you, humbled, and expressing my gratitude for the same. I know more than you interviewing me, there is a lot for me to learn from you. I see this as a and yes, I'm trained and I'm practicing currently in my own online counseling sites. We have two online sites. One is named Mind Spa, which is dealing with all the mind related issues for the common public. So we have everything starting from child counseling to family counseling, relationship issues, and mental situations like depression, stress, anxiety disorder, and so on. And also, I do my counseling through COD, which is otherwise known as Children of Determination, where we support parents and families who have special needs kids. When a kid is born into a family, they come with a lot of dreams. And when we find that our children are not developing their mental teacher, as then the dreams of the families just vanish and they just see darkness all over. So in that situation, we have specialized teams to support them with counseling and moral support and guidance, and make them understand how to handle the situation in a better way. So I'm a psychotherapist, and I do counseling in both these through both these online counseling sites.
We have a couple of good friends who are psychiatrists in the United States, both of them
Great.
ladies. We have been following them and we know what they do, etc. What is the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychotherapist?
Oh, that's one question I would love to answer. And that is one basic question that people don't understand also. See, in the field of mental health, any person, there are a lot of people who are supporting people in mental health without any education qualifications. So they are termed as life coaches or motivational speakers. It could be anyone. They need not have a degree or they need not have any studies. They can, if they are good in talking, and if they have read good thoughts, you can be named as a life coach or you can be named as a
More like
motivational
evangelist,
speaker.
more like evangelist, right?
Yeah,
Evangelists do that.
what they do is they just lighten the moment and show you the path to go forward when you are facing a particular situation. So those people are people who doesn't have need not have a degree or a master's in the field of psychology. Okay, now when a person has some degree, a minimum qualification of graduation or post graduation in the field of psychology, then they are called psychologists. Okay, and they work as counselors. There are different fields of psychology, psychologists, like career counseling. There could be like counseling counselors and so on. Now a psychiatrist is a person who has completed their MBBS degree.
Right.
Previous degree, like then taken their specialization in the field of mental health. So these psychiatrists are the only people in the field of mental health who are licensed to give medicines to others. Actually, a life coach or a motivational speaker or a psychologist are not licensed to give any sort of medicine to their clients.
Okay, I understand the difference. But
So
what
if
you
you are
do is,
consulting a psychologist, you can take medicines from them. This is a request to all the public out there, whoever is listening to this video, that you should never take medicines from a counselor or a life coach or from a motivational speaker or even a psychotherapist. But if he or she is a psychiatrist, then they can trust and take
so in other words, you do not
the
prescribe
medicine.
medicine. You do not prescribe medicines, though you are
No,
a
no, no.
therapist.
We don't, and personally, I don't prescribe medicine. We, while we are studying, we know certain medicines, what is to be used for which situation, but we never prescribe medicines. But what we believe is just like the traditional Indian system of healing, like Ayurveda, we believe that the body by itself has a power to heal. So we have beautiful therapies which helps us heal. Now there are certain situations which need immediate attention. So those situations can be dealt only by psychiatrist. Like
So then
imagine
you refer to them. You don't
having a
handle them.
problem, you have a digestion problem. Pardon?
No, so you don't deal with those health problems. You refer them to psychiatrists.
But yeah, see, the thing is that
Or other
whenever yes, sir. Yes, sir. See, whenever a person is dealing with some mental situation, I would request them to go to a counselor or a psychologist first, so that they analyze what is the situation. Not every situation needs medical intervention, so or medicinal support. Okay, so what we have to do is first analyze what he or she is going, gauge the depth of the issue. Now, if we take any issue, say for example, a person is suffering from depression, for example. Now, what happens is depression is just an emotion. Like sadness is an emotion that every human being will go through. No matter how successful you are, no matter what relationships you have, this is a situation or this is an emotion that we will all have at least at one time of the day. It might be small or big, but we will all feel sad, we will all feel happy, but you don't need to take medicine for that, because that is just when you are feeling that you are in a situation where you can't deal with it yourself, then you go to the psychologist and you share your thoughts, and they will tell you whether you need medicine or not. If we gauge the situation between a scale of in a scale of 1 to 30, where 1 is a minimum and 30 is a maximum, now 1 to 5 can be solved with a open conversation. Now if they are facing a situation above 5 to 10, then we could bring in some certain changes to their lifestyle by going out. Maybe the person is just sitting too much time with the computer or spending too much time alone, and they are not able to feel great about it. So in such a situation, they can go out and do some exercise or get involved in group activities, take yoga, meditation, or stick to a nutrition diet, or there are so many things that the person can bring in changes in their lifestyle. Now, if they exceed like 15 to 20, then they can take therapies, psychotherapies, which are available with us. We can find the cause why they are feeling depressed. It could be because of a trauma or an incident that could have happened in the past, maybe like from their 9-10 years old. We could get it healed. So they can take some therapies and they will feel just great. And then if it is exceeding above like 20, and if it is something that they need medication, then we consider giving them a reference to the psychiatrist only when it is at most important.
So you work like a consortium. That is, you try to deal with a patient and then you realize that this has to be treated with medicine. Then you have a psychiatrist to deal with. Is that how it works? You work as a group?
No, we don't work as a group, but we have references. We know we have tie-ups with, not actually tie-ups. We know who are good in the field. So when people connect with us, we just refer them. We give them options like there are so many psychologists that we know, or these are the things that you need to do depending on their location. Because I am personally working in an online counseling site, so the best part about it is that people can log into our site from any part of the world at any point of time. They visit our clinic. So, and they can connect to us in different languages. Because when we are sad or emotionally down, we always like to speak in our mother tongue or the language that we are comfortable with. So that is a highlight of online counseling. You don't see, sir. Actually,
You never meet
we
them.
all
You
face.
never meet
Pardon?
them.
Pardon,
You
sir?
never meet them. It's only online.
Yeah,
They don't
personally,
come to your clinic.
I don't take offline counseling. We support online counseling a lot because the reason why I came into the field is I come connected family. I have the best parents on earth. I have the best husband on earth, and I have my children, and I don't have any relations to complain about. But there were times in my life when I face difficulty or when I face confusions, mental confusions, and I find it difficult to share it with my near and dear ones. So that was the time when I started thinking, if I, a person who is coming from such a connected family, is having situation, is facing such situation, then what will be broken families? I am a total extrovert that you might have known by now. I have a lot of friends, but even then, there are when I face some problems, then I find it very difficult to share it with my friends. It is not because they are not close to me. It is because I don't want to hurt them, or I don't want to share my fears. I just want to keep a smiling face all the time and make others happy. So I don't want to go around saying, and maybe it's a small thing, and once I sleep and get up, the problem is gone. But if I share it, then someone else, a stranger whom I could connect to, just talk and then get over with it. And that was the time when I wanted to give or bring into reality something like that. And that is where I found my inspiration.
What kind of training did you get? Did you go to an institution or
Yes, I did my
you
master's,
learned
sir.
it
I did my master's in psychology,
in
and I am
psychology?
trained in. I am a professionally certified psychotherapist in 21 therapies. Just like MBBS, we take psychology or postgraduate. That when you specialize in a particular therapy, then you come to know to be known as a psychotherapist. Usually, I have met people who have specialized in 3 to 4 therapies. I am professionally trained and certified in 21 therapies in
Okay.
Western therapies. And also with that, I have done my training in healing and traditional therapies also.
And there are other kinds of traditional healing apart from Ayurveda. You know, there are so many ways of
Yes.
addressing.
We have some wonderful like energy healing. And I don't know how many people know there is something called the distant energy healing. Like, imagine a person is sick, is sick, he or she is not feeling well. Then we can heal that person even without going near him. Yeah, it sounds non-scientific, but if you believe in Ayurveda, then you have to believe in healing also. And there is something called Reiki and pranic healing. and bioenergy healing and distant energy healing and lot of stuff that it might not scientific, but when you experience it yourself, you got to believe it.
Right. Reiki and pranic healing we are very familiar with.
Yes,
My wife
nowadays
herself
it
practices
is too
something
much in the market.
without any practical experience, but by learning from others. But is it true to say that the psychiatric issues and psychotherapeutic issues, etc., come up in the developed world more than the developing world? Is it simply because we don't identify these problems in the developing world? We think it is something which will go away. We do not have the habit of going
So
to a
mind always
psychiatrist.
exists, whether
On the
it's
other hand,
developed world.
in the developed world, there are too many psychiatrists and so many people going to them. So is it a question of affluence that brings this around?
It's a great question. I got to admit that, and it's a seriously debatable topic. But how I would concise it as, see, previously there were many students who could not learn many subjects properly. But if the person gets better tutor, she is able to come up a little more better than how they were before. Do you agree to that?
Right.
In our, according to our Indian system, we always say you start learning the time when you find your right guru.
Yes.
Right, sir? So a guru can make or break his student. There are teachers who have made us hate the subject, and there are so many fabulous teachers out there who have made us love the subject. Exactly, life is like that. There are where we are stuck with certain situations and we don't know what to do. And when we think of that situation with an emotional mind, then we cannot find solutions to that. But when you start looking at it as a third person and deal with it in a practical way, then there is always a solution to any problem. I believe there is no problem without a solution. If we are not able to find a solution, it simply means we just have to change the way we think.
No, but the problem is that you get used to counseling and psychiatric training and so on. But a stage may come, God forbid, when you suddenly fall sick to such an extent that none of this can help you. Then you have to run to a hospital to an allopathic doctor. Doesn't it happen all the time?
That is what I told you. See, the thing is that what we believe is the whatever disease that we see today in your body is a precipitation of the problems that you face in your mental body, in your mind. We cannot point to a place where the mind is. It is just a belief, or we know that the thing is that the problem whatever you are facing will first come into your mind and then to your body. I will narrate a very small incident briefly to make you understand. There was this one client of mine. Okay, she was a teenager in her actually in her 20s. Okay, 20 going to be 20, like that. She used to get she was getting fever in between. At least she used to get a body temperature, a high body temperature results at least once a week. And her mother brought me to her saying, what is the issue? And every time she gets a fever, they used to take her to the MBBS doctor. They used to give Panadol or something, and it goes down. Then after some time, the mother started giving Panadol by herself, and it used to subside. So she came to me and for some other thing. And when I was talking to the daughter, she said she was having fever once a week. I said that is not a good symptom. That is not a good symptom. That is not the issue. So you need not give medicine too for the fever, but that is not a good symptom. Now I was talking to her and trying to find out what was the reason. And I knew that she had a trauma from a childhood, which was coming up every most of the time when she was sleeping. And she would get up from her sleep seeing bad dreams. And after that she develops this body shows this helplessness or insecurity by rising the temperature. So we healed her trauma from the past, and after that till date it is like more than 3 years she has not got that fever.
Well, these are all success stories one knows about. But how reliable it is, nobody can certify, right? You will perhaps. But ordinary
Forbid,
people.
let us. But if it has happened, then I can help you out. There are certain things we need to believe. Indian system, actually, that was a great rift that I learned when I was exploring the Western systems of education and our healing systems. In Western systems, it is all written, and they only believe scientific things. I am not blaming that, but actually they are great tools to understand the mind, because in our systems we have only belief, and we don't question the gurus, so we don't ask them why. But if it we have to do, and I learned both these systems. I learned how to understand the problem, and I can explain the problem to the other person because I learned the psychotherapies, and I can do healing and get results only through the Indian systems. So when I work, I use the benefits of both the systems.
Well, from there to move on to fiction, I can imagine the number of cases that come to your mind or come to you in professionally are all human beings with emotions, stories, and it is a natural tendency for you to create such characters and create fiction. That sounds like a logical development of your own studies of the human mind. And is that how you went into fiction?
I started writing when I was in grade 4, and I've been writing
Oh,
since then. But I never thought, for my family, publishing stories or getting famous was not in their plate. They just wanted their daughter to be safe, get married, and settle, and be happy with her life. That was and I think I'm not biased, but I think that is what we have writers in our family. So everyone was like, why do you want to waste time writing? But it was my passion, it was my self expression. I would say, yeah, I
what
would
did
say
you
it is
start
my
with?
way of, pardon, sir?
What did you start? Poems or essays, or
Yeah,
what
I
did you
started
start with?
writing with poetry. I was always inclined towards poetry. And then in 2013, when I started my journey of self discovering after having two kids and getting settled in life, I wanted to discover why am I here? I'm not here to just be another individual and then just leave and we need to leave a mark. So we need to do something different and make at least one beautiful change in someone's life. So that was the time when I started my journey, self discovery. And that was the time when I knew that my biggest passion was writing. Even now I'm not really bothered about who reads, whether the people think that my books are good or bad, or whether I get financially benefited from that. But I love writing. Whether others love to read or not, I love writing. Until now, it has not changed. So
Then you must
psychology and all.
you must have heard the saying that you
Okay.
write like cow gives milk. There's no
Yeah.
choice.
Yes.
so,
And I
so
I
it is
feel
your
happy
need to
writing.
give milk. Right. I
Yes, I
know.
feel
So that's a
writing.
very good analogy.
Yeah, I feel writing. I don't find happiness when my books are launched, or I don't feel happiness counting the number of publications, but I feel happy when I write. And slowly, as part of my profession, I have written psychology based books. And later, I thought one thing that have always interested me is that when you write a book, you leave even after you are dead through the thoughts of others. So I always say that now I'm not worried about that, because I live through others' memories, through my lines, through my works,
And the
and through my
and the legacy of
organizations.
your work. There'll be a corner in a library where Sindhu Nandakumar will be remembered. Absolutely,
Yes,
that's
yes,
very true.
yes.
That's the same experience I have of writing. But I have not written fiction as yet, though I was very tempted very often. But it's very difficult to bring it to a conclusion. It's very easy to start a novel, but then finally you get lost as to how you finally dispose of this character you created. And that is the sense that I have. One day I hope I'll be able to complete a story. But are your stories
You should, sir. You
autobiographical?
should. Your flair and expertise, you should.
Right? That's what I'm trying to do. At the moment, I've done several, but mostly political books. So that's easier because it's from your experience, what you have done, and what you could have done better, and so on like that. But does your autobiography come into your fiction writing?
What I think is every whatever, however fictitious or however imagination you bring into a book, imagination you might bring into your books, there is always an element of the author that
The experience.
will be hidden somewhere. In good part is the readers will not be able to identify which is true and which is false. We are the biggest what do you call that, actors. You write so well that
No,
you
like
can make your life you can make yourself the third person or the narrator.
true, true. Let us take the example of Kamala Das, Madhavikutty, you should know very well.
Yes.
See, she writes, though these are autobiographical. So people started creating images of her, an immoral person or a person who has no qualms about, changing partners, changing religions, etc. Half of it, or most of it, was imaginary. But then it became her reputation, as though she had done all those. Don't you run that risk, particularly as a lady?
Yes, but the thing is that even in real life, I don't mind lying, and I'm very good at that. So even if someone asks me with a question, they will not be able to find out which is truth and which is my imagination. So depending on the speaker, I will switch roles, and
No,
we
but you are
we are
likely to
people
be
who like to
stereotyped.
play with the mind.
But as it happened in the case of Madhavikutty, she became stereotyped, didn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, so that
Yes,
is the
that is
danger.
because if you are a female author, and if you happen to be in an age group less than that of 40s, then obviously if they are writing something about love or anything that the readers can connect to, then they automatically portray the author. There is this tendency of portraying the writer as the hero or the heroine, depending on the gender. So that is why the great writer Kamala Das got fitted into that character, because she was writing about a woman who was of her same age.
Yeah.
So that is
And same
that risk
background,
is always there.
rural background, rural education, then going into a city, meeting
Yes.
people, getting tempted to be with other people, finding the inadequacies of her own husband, and all these things. Maybe she was imagining. And many times she said, "Don't believe everything that I write." That my story, when I read, I thought, "Oh my God, what a woman, isn't it?" And so then it changes. It's almost like Lady Chatterley's lover. And
Yeah.
so you think that she is like that, but she was not like that. She was very emotional. She was attached to people, attached to her husband more than anybody else, as she describes. So this must be a conflict. So when I think of fiction, this happens. Suppose I write about a man who has done A, B, C, D, then the readers might think that I did that A, B, C, D, which I did not.
Yeah, but sir, is it worth thinking about what others think? We have only a very short time.
Right.
So, a very great reputation. I think you should give it a splash and try what you like to do. I remember the first time when I started writing, I wanted to write a romantic novel. I don't read that much. So my vocabulary is like below average. I am happy to admit it. But I write simple lines. I don't have all the big letter words and all that. I just connect with the normal people. And that is exactly what I want also. I want everyone to understand what I'm writing. I don't want them to keep a dictionary while reading my book. I want everything to be simple, so that they understand at least what's trying to convey. I might not be a great writer, but when I started writing, I wanted to publish a book which is similar to Mills and Bones. And I was halfway through the book, and then I was talking to one of my cousin, and he said, "No, no, no, don't do that. If you write any romantic novel, our family has a great name. You are going to spoil it." And then I brought in an entire news story of company sedimentation and fraud and all that to dilute the romance. And when I finished the novel, my book, I could not connect to the book. Okay, the story was great. There were so many corporate elements to that and all that. Finally, I said, who cares? Who cares? Even with all the reports and trolls that you said about Kamala Das, still there are millions of people who likes to read her, and there are so many lines that we keep it close to our heart. So that is the achievement of a writer. So I write as if no one is going to read it ever. And that was the time when I started really enjoy writing. If I am to, there might be emotions or states when we are biased. There might be negative thoughts. There might be dark sides coming in the lines. But that is me. You can't expect an always positive person who has not done any vice. I like to play the Lucifer, and I don't care.
Okay. But is that how you went into publishing? Did you publish something which was edited and published by another person in early career before you became a publisher yourself?
No, actually, when I started publishing, I first, as I told you, I started my journey of self-discovery in 2013, and I wanted to do my publication. But when that time I was a nobody, just a housewife, I didn't have any pocket money or bank account. It's not that my family is poor, but I wanted to publish my book at my own cost. So since I was not working then, when I contacted many publishers, I could not understand how this publishing was working, and they were like asking me 25,000 to 5 lakhs rupees, and that was something I didn't know whether someone would love to read that. And one book could cost 200 or 300 rupees. How am I going to make 25,000 out of that? So that financial calculation I could not match. So I started studying publishing, and I published my first book in Amazon as a self-publisher. And that was the time when I realized that, okay, if I want to publish my book and I could not get any external help, there might be many people who have the same problem. So I came into the publishing field and started my publishing house, not to make money, but to support people who are interested in public, and who really want to write and who reach. So currently we are helping out people, and I have helped so many people become a writer, published writer.
Well, my wife,
So,
my wife is your client now. You're working with
yeah,
her.
always happy to support, sir.
No, so that means publishing has been a very difficult exercise. I've been through it, but I was fortunate. Nobody asked me for money. Actually, they paid me some money. Except that the free copies I distributed cost much more than the royalty I got from the publisher. So I always think if I get more royalty than the money I had to pay for the copies for my friends, I would be a successful writer. That has not happened. I paid more for buying books to be gifted than what I earned as royalty. But I never spent money. So I was in a traditional way. I had a couple of publishers who did it on their own style, the old style of publishing, which meant, of course, they made it in their own way. They got it edited, they got various things done, but always consulted me, and I never had to dispute with them. So some people went to publishing because of that very problem. They wanted to liberate themselves from the shackles of a publisher or an editor. And that is the reason why people go to Amazon and get it published regardless. But promotion is very difficult, isn't it? How do you reach people?
Yes, sir. And the thing is that I don't aggressively market my books, because my passion is for my books personally, I don't promote them spending money. Okay, and we have a publishing house, and we also have a forum for writers where we support them with writing. So we have, like, every month we are coming up with anthologies, co-written books and stuff, where they can publish at a very minimal
Cost.
and readership range in that. So when we publish, there are a lot of people who like to read, and they buy books from us. But again, I have to admit that literary books are not financially viable thing even today, even after so much of studying into the field and getting so many books published. I will not say that you cannot become rich by a writer. And as you said, sir, for you they might have offered it free of cost, because when you are publishing with them, they get a reach. They can expand their reach with your name.
Right.
You are a brand by you, so you don't need to pay money for that. But for a common person like me, they I don't add value to their service, so obviously they take money from us, and we don't mind paying money. It's not the just the money part, but they are asking rates that are not payable by good writers. So that is what I, even now I believe that the good writers come to know, are exposed to the world after their death, when someone else takes their writings and get published. I don't think William
Right.
Shakespeare
No,
ever got any royalty.
this never made money. He never got any money for, except for the plays, probably somebody paid him. No, but you should be in a position like the publisher comes to you and offers you $50 million for your memoirs. That is when you are a celebrity, right? That's
Yes.
what happened to
Yeah,
Clinton, for example.
that's great to hear, and I wish all writers get that place. But how many? I don't know.
No, they don't. But I'm in that area where I at least don't invest anything. You know, whatever I get as royalty, I spend by book publishing, buying it and giving it to friends. That is how my economics works. It is not profitable, but it's fun, very much fun. But I put myself in the hands of the publisher, and I follow his advice about design, about the language, about the get up and everything, and it's been more or less successful. But now
Yes.
it is mostly electronic. When I published my first book in 2007, these electronic publications were very rare. We had to go
Yes.
around
True. True.
selling hardbound books. But now the market must have changed completely, because they go for the Kindle edition, because it's so
Yeah.
convenient. You don't need a book space in your house,
Yes.
clutter up your table. So how do you do in that? How is the Kindle kind of publication which is more successful than hard copies?
I would say, sir, for the Western world, they always have this Kindle reader. People who love to read the books, they take the Kindle reader, and Kindle reader is just like book. So they just have to carry the Kindle reader, and they can read any number of books from that. And the price is also very less for buying books. So for them, it is people who read, especially who are tech savvy, and people from the Western world. It is like us buying newspaper or magazine. They buy new books and read. They are not bothered about the authors or their nationality and so on. If they like a book, or if they see the blurb, then they will buy the book.
Review.
Review, blurb, or if they know the author. There are so many Western friends of mine who follow me in social media, and when I come with a if they are following me for the literary part, then they buy my books, most of my books. Some people might like poetry, some people might like novels, so they wait and ask me, when is your next novel coming up?
Through
Not
social
such a
media,
pardon.
you are able to promote through social media. Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
yes, yes. I do all my promotions, whether it is for my online counseling, or for my books, or for my business firms. I do all promotions only through social media.
Yes, you have a very impressive page,
Thank you,
Facebook
sir.
page. You have an impressive website. Anybody would think, look at when I looked at it, and some others who looked at it after I announced the program, they all said, "Oh, fantastic! What a collection of publications she has! What a fantastic variety of things she does." So that image is created in the social media. Definitely, has been a successful story. But the publishing world is changing dramatically. Maybe a time will come, nobody will print books anymore. Now, for example, you can just print one copy, isn't it? And whenever you want a
Yes,
second
yes.
copy,
That
you
is
can
called
order
print
it.
on demand. That is called print
Yes.
on demand. Like
Is that
previously,
the,
when
is
it
that
was,
the trend?
yeah,
Yeah, they don't have to stock. Earlier, the publisher would print,
yes, true.
they would say they will print 1,000, but they'll print 2,000 and keep the 1,000 in store. And finally, they will have to sell it as waste paper. Such things happen in
It's true,
publishing life.
true.
But now it won't happen. You only print what you can sell.
Yes.
So is that
And
an
also
advantage for
there are so many companies who do just print on demand. So even if you are not a publisher, even if you are not an author, you can just ask them to print like 5 copies, 10 copies, and then take it for yourself. And the cost of one book will come to around 200 to 250 maximum rupees. A 250
no, so
pages black and white book.
the number of books are increasing. The sale is increasing now with the internet facility. Is that it?
Yes,
More
sir.
people are able
Maybe
to
it is
read.
increasing by 400, 500.
No, but one disadvantage I have noticed is of these electronic books is so much of it is unauthorizedly distributed. Even
Yeah, that
before
is
the
also
book
there,
comes to
sir.
the market,
See, yeah,
so
that
many free. You come in WhatsApp, you get a book which has just been produced in New York.
yeah, that's
So
true.
how do you deal with that?
That's true. But the thing is that there is always a very strong copyright law. And
No, but does it seem to apply?
people who it, but if they are caught, they will be sued millions of dollars. So you are
Even
not
for
supposed to
free,
do that.
even
But
for free.
pardon, sir?
I have read several of these books. Suddenly they send you Kamala Harris's book, the whole text, even before it comes into the market. So who can resist the temptation of reading it?
Yes, sir. There will be always, see, the side effects, anything will have a positive and a negative side. So just like now, there's a lot of DVDs are coming out of very costly films. There will be
Right.
fake books also, PDFs also. There will be there. But when I see, as I see the whole picture, and I think it doesn't hurt if 2 or 3 new people are reading our books extra without paying. It doesn't hurt the author that much. But
So
if
that
what
means
if
it is
the
compensated.
person, yes, sir.
So whatever they lose in that is compensated by their income in traditional manner. That's what you
See,
mean.
sir, Kindle, when we something called we can assign our book to free reads for a particular time. So that is where all these happens. All these things happen. But I think every book is a bundle of knowledge. So even if you are getting paid only for 100 copies, what is the harm in sharing your knowledge? Let the people read, and if they like it, they might buy the author's next original book. So we are getting a client. So this is all part of advertising and campaigning and all that. We need not worry about it. When I write a
Okay.
book and before I get maybe after publishing, I might take out a 1 or 2 pages or some portion of the book and advertise. I might pull out 2 or 3 poetry from a poetic collection, and I will put it in my social media for free reads. And my social media handle has um, um, like 500K followers, or not
You
500K,
haven't hit,
500,000
hit the
K
one.
followers.
You
I
haven't
don't
hit
know.
the 1 million yet. You haven't hit the 1 million level yet.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of people who read that, and there are a lot of people who read my random poetries and then buy my book. So just like we are giving sample gift copies to others, or just like we are giving flyers to others, doesn't hurt the author. We have spent the same amount of money writing a book, whether it is selling in hundreds or 200s, it doesn't make any difference. And sometime or the other, I think it is a positive thing, because and even if we are getting a book for free, people who don't love to read will never read a book. It is not like chicken biryani or something else that anyone will take it, right? People who have a flair to read only will read it. So we are getting a good reader.
Yeah, depends on how you hit the market, and
Yes,
then you make it, and then you have made it. So it's a bit of a
yes,
gamble, definitely. Tell me
yes.
about this AI,
Uh,
this IAIF that you are a director of. There is an organization of authors.
Yes, sir. As you surely mentioned in the
Innovative
beginning.
authors.
Yes, sir. Innovative Authors International Forum. Actually, in the beginning, as we said, it is a collection for the promotion of authors.
Okay. And
It's a
what do you do there?
So basically, what we do is we bring in authors and we support them in each and every step of publishing. And we are doing it as a voluntary support. We are not charging anything for our services. So there might be people who are very good in writing, but they don't know how to edit a book, or they cannot connect with people who can edit their book them, or publishing, how to find the right author, or how to promote the book, and so on. There are various stages of publishing, and we support them with that. And also every year we come up with anthologies where we invite authors uh, to share their poetic or short stories, and we make a collection book with that. So the best part about being part of an anthology and co-written book is that you get genuine readers for it. This is again a marketing stunt. Like say, for example, say for example, if I am publishing a book and I am circulating it in my social media, there is a set of people have been seeing that for the past so many years. They know I am a writer, I write, and they when a new book comes up, then they read. Okay, that is a fixed group. Now, how do I reach the new a new team who doesn't know about me or me as an author? Then we come up with co-written books. So co-written books are books where we have the writings of any number of others. So we can co-write with one person, or we can co-write with any number of people less than 10. So when imagine we are having a book of poetry with 10 authors, then the thing is that these 10 authors will collectively promote the book. So if when I am promoting the book, when my readers are reading that, and if the second author is also writing in that book, then my readers get to know about the other author. So they understand the different vibes that they get from the authors, and then they start going and browsing about the new author, and they start buying books from his collection. So it is basically introducing authors into the reading world.
And helping them
Also,
to produce, publish.
yes,
All right.
and the best part about co-writing book is the financial part is also shared by the authors. So imagine if you need 10,000 rupees to publish a book, when it is 10 authors, then the cost will be only which is okay for any writer. And but the marketing will be like 10 times greater.
And how about these magazines that you run, online magazines? Are they news
Yes,
magazines
currently
or
under
feature?
my publishing house, we have 5 magazines, and for IAIF, we have 1 magazine. So currently, I'm the chief editor for 6 magazines. And as you said, that online media, we have a great reach. So other than my personal profile, our companies have also got very good reach. So have a readership of like 6-digit numbers for every magazine. It's all
And
annual
that's
magazines.
priced.
No, no, no,
Is
no.
that priced?
Our magazines are all free to read. And every magazine will be posted in different, nearly to 13 to 14 websites, and a copy of each magazine. A copy of each magazine is there in our Pens and Scrolls Publishing House website. So any person can go to our e-library and they can read all the previous magazines.
Okay, coming to your last or one of your multifarious activities is business consultancy. So let us
Yes.
conclude with that. How do you manage it, and what kind of services do you provide?
See, every person will have an innate desire in life, and I found mine. My biggest passion is to bring in a positive change to others' life. So whether I'm a writer or whether I'm a publisher or whether I'm a psychotherapist or whether I'm a consultant, I would like people in their areas where they need help. So when I wanted to publish, when I wanted to set up my publishing house, or when I wanted, I have an NGO also. So when I wanted to establish all that, I could not find the one point where they can help out with each and every step of an organization, like setting up, getting the company registered, or an accountant or a legal consultant and all that. So my consultancy is that one stop where you can come to, starting from feasibility study to setting up an organization, register legally, financial side, or taking a legal support, or marketing the product, you name anything, we are doing. A to Z works.
Very good. Finally, we are running out of time. Living in UAE doesn't give you any advantage, because in today's world, you can live anywhere and you can do the same things, right? Work from home has become a pattern. So living in Abu Dhabi, the business conditions there, technology there, facilities there, freedom there, are they more conducive to better functioning than in India?
We don't have the pressure that we feel. Underlying thing here, there is a system of doing things. So if you want to follow the system and get things done the right way, it is easier to do in any part of the world other than in Kerala, because in Kerala the people are very intelligent, but the government doesn't give any support. Sorry to say that, but I think they say no to business. I'm against politics. I don't support any party. But being a normal business person, I think you want to wind up your business, take your business to Kerala. They will wind it up for you.
That's a master stroke. So thank you very much for being so frank and entertaining in a way. And I'm sure the viewers have got an idea of what a personality you are and how much more you're going to do. You're still so young, and there must be many things that you can accomplish. All the very best, and thank you for joining me this afternoon. Thank you.
Always a pleasure
Bye-bye.
to join you, sir. Thank you. Bye.